Hey, guess what? We're live.
It's Jess the Ska Kid and the Knights of the Round Table.
Kid points.
Beer guy.
And on the phone with us this evening is Flip and the Combined Effort. Hello!
Hello!
So, go ahead, introduce yourself for us.
So I am Felipe, also known as Flip, and I'm the band leader for Flip and the Combined Effort.
Thank you. And you, hi Jeremiah, you are from Arlington, Texas, correct?
Yes, we are from Arlington, Texas, which is like kind of the center heart of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
Yes, we've recently had quite a number of people come out of that area who have been on the
Yeah,
show.
we're very fortunate. We got Madeline and the Holophonics and all those guys.
Yeah, you are in like a central hub of music, which has been really fruitful. It's really cool to like meet all of you all.
Yeah, no, it's a great scene. We're so lucky and happy to be a part of it.
So tell us, Philip, tonight's phone interview is because you guys are about to go on tour, yes?
Yeah, so we're going on our first ever tour. And yeah, we're doing a Midwest run starting in Norman and ending up in Chicago, which is really exciting for all of us.
Great. So how did this tour come to be and why the Midwest?
I guess a lot of reasons. It's like ever since I was like 14, whenever anyone first hears like Real Big Fish for the first time, they're just like, that's the coolest thing ever. I want to be in a band. So this has been a long time coming, and I just finally said, you know what, we're just going to do it. And I talked with my friends and a bunch of my friends who are in bands that tour. They're like, oh, Midwest is easy, because once you get there, like, it's just a very easy drive here on out, as opposed to like the West Coast when you're on the road for like 16, 17 hours at a time.
And there's nothing. You're in the desert. So tell us, besides you, Mr. Band Leader, how many other members are in your band? Give us a little rundown introduction of the other folk who couldn't be here tonight and what they play.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we're all, since we're leaving tomorrow, everyone's doing last minute prep, so they're sorry they couldn't be here tonight. But so it's me on vocals. We have Alexis on drums. She's our drummer, and she also sings a couple songs. We have Duddy, who is our guitar player. Victor, who plays bass. And then we have our horn section, David on saxophone, Maddie on trumpet, and we usually have our buddy Willie playing trombone, but for this tour he couldn't make it, so we have our friend Sam Ogden playing trombone with us for this run.
Wow. So wait, if we counted right, there's 7 of you?
There's 7 of us. Yeah, we're a big band.
Wow. It's pretty fortunate that you could all come out to do that, because I know that sometimes when bands do a run, if, a horn section can't make it, they'll pick up other people or something like that. So it's pretty neat that you all get to go out as a full you.
Yeah, no, it's like every time we play a show, or a lot of times we play a show, I gush about my band, because except for like our first 3 or 4 gigs, we have had a full band for every gig, and we've been a band for about 2 years now.
Wow.
And it's a blessing. It's amazing.
So how did Flip and the Combined Effort come to be?
So I, like I said earlier, I was into ska for a long time, played in a ska band in high school, came out here to the Metroplex to study music, and I started getting in touch with Eric Dano and Mark from Madeline, Eric from Holophonics, and just started talking with them, and then I just got reinvigorated. I was like, why haven't I been writing songs? Because in high school I was writing songs all the time, but when I got to college I was like really focused on my studies, so like I stopped, and then when I started writing again I was like, why did I ever stop doing this? And then just asked all my buddies like, hey, I'm gonna start a ska band, you guys want in? And to my surprise, and still my surprise, they're like, yeah, that sounds like fun.
Have you guys been, for the last 2 years, full originals? Are they all the original members?
No, for the most part, original members. We've lost a couple of members, but Duddy, Victor, Alexis, and Gulick are all like original. Like they played from the beginning.
Very neat. And
Yeah.
how many albums do you guys have, or EPs?
Right. Right now, all we have is our debut album, which is called In Search of Home, that we released last February. And we have an EP that we kind of released before that as like a little teaser for the record. But that's our first like full actual length CD.
And you, I think if I can, I'm doing this off of memory because I have you pulled up, so I can't pull up my past email. I think you sent me 5 songs, yeah?
Yeah, 5 or 4, I believe, yes.
And 2 of which were new, yes?
Yeah, Margot and Open Apology are from the record, our EP that's dropping tomorrow, which is really exciting.
And so, give us some background on those, because when you first reached out to me, I listened to you guys, and the new stuff that you sent me is, I would say, almost reinventive. Like, it's different than your other stuff. How did you come to be, like, we played Margot Tuesday as the sneak peek to tonight. How did you guys come to mix in, I would say, like, I don't know, it sounds like nerdcore to me. You sound like MC Lars, you know?
Well, I will take that as the biggest compliment I can get right now.
I thought it was really cool. I like the fusion of that mix. So explain where this new music is coming from.
Yeah, of course. In addition to like being like getting introduced to like ska in like middle and high school, I've always been just a huge fan of rap. Like as soon as I first heard Eminem, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. So I really wanted to really combine those loves together. And with the first record, I was leaning way heavier into the ska stuff just because I've been so far removed from it for a while. And like, I always joke that my Patronus is a checkerboard trombone. Like, I just like eat, breathe, live that stuff. And so that's the first direction was very, very punky, very ska with like little bits of hip hop here and there. And of course that influence with Eric, because Eric also produced the record. So a lot of his input was really helpful. And when I finished it, I was like, okay, this is great, but I want to just evolve it a little more. I really want to lean more into the hip hop side of it, because we've been very graciously accepted well in the DFW ska and punk community, but I want to branch out because I want that hip hop side to come out a little more. And I just want to make good music, and I want to stay rooted in ska and punk, but I want to like just push the boundary a little more, just like kind of like akin to like RX Bandit. I don't know if you know Captain Squeegee out of Arizona. Just kind of like still firmly rooted in the genre, but kind of just put some different slants on it.
Gotcha. What would you say? I mean, we've talked now. You mentioned Eminem, and you hit Real Big Fish, but what would you say your influences as a band are? Like, do you all come from different backgrounds as far as genres of ska, or are you all pretty much alike in the same mindset of you came up with third wave?
Yeah. So it's really funny. So I listened to a lot of ska growing up, and as far as the rest of the band, Maddie, our trumpet player, also listened to a lot of it. But by and large, most of us are all like classically trained. A couple of us have jazz, jazz training as well. And me, the guitarist and the bassist, also play in another band that's a synth rock band.
A synth rock band?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, kind of like the Killers, but like a little more punk edge to it.
You know that's allowed on this show too, right?
Oh, well then I will send Victor. He's the band leader for that one, so I'll send Victor your way.
Okay.
He's got band-aids everywhere here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go on. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no, you're fine. And yeah, so we all just came from a lot of different genres. Like Gulick is all about jazz. He's a phenomenal saxophone player, and he has all those jazz licks. Whenever I give him the chance to solo, it's great. Alexis and Duddy both kind of have like that acoustic punk style. Like Duddy spent a lot of years writing in like in the coffee shop setting, performing there. And then I went to school with Alexis for a little bit, so she has that classical training as well. And Victor's all about the 80s and like synth rock, like Daft Punk's his favorite band. So that brings a different slant to it. And then Willie is just like me and Maddie, grew up on the stuff and is just really, really knows all the nuances of the genre.
So we have Josh from Courtesy of Tim watching currently, and he says, Courtesy of Tim is super excited to play with you guys, y'all. He said,
oh man, we're so excited to play with them.
So how did you find them?
Man, Facebook is a wonderful thing. For most of the shows, I just like talked to people I knew. I was like, hey, we need someone in this area. And I just looked and found them on Facebook. I was like, cool.
They played our housewarming party here. And they were probably one of the first large bands that we fit in the basement because they did have horns, even though they didn't bring their full horn section. There were 7 of them, I think, that came and played that night. And who was it? The saxophone player dressed up as a T-Rex. So I challenge you, Josh. You need to show these guys the full Courtesy of Tim experience. And you gotta all wear your dino suits or your really cool shark taco. They have a shark. Josh has a shark taco shirt. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's oh yeah. Well, now this live broadcast is legally binding. They have to do it now.
Right. Copyright as of tonight at what is it? 8:22.
He commented again.
Did he count? No.
Yes.
Did he? Hold on.
Only our sax player, no trumpet or trombone that night.
Yep. They played with only their sax player, not trumpet or trombone. Yep. I remember. They went to Festival Food and got like sushi and ate it in our living room first. So our dining room. Anyways, so tell us. Let's talk about your tour.
Yeah.
This is the first tour you guys are going out on, and how did you book it? Like, give us a little bit of each stop that you're stopping at, and how easy was this to coordinate?
Okay. So
Three-part
I'll
question.
answer backwards.
Okay.
This was a labor of love. It was very, it was a long process to like get in contact with everyone. But it was really fun. Like, and I'm all about spreadsheets. So like on my computer, I just have a stupid amount of like contacts and like info and like, did they get back to me? I should hit them back up this day. So it was fun, but it was also very stressful. And like the shows that I thought like, oh, we got this in the bag. We like easily booked this day were the days that we booked last. And now the ones I was like, I don't even know anyone there. Like we booked first. So it's kind of funny how that worked out. But so we're starting in Norman, Oklahoma tomorrow night. And we're playing at Bison Witches. And John Michael Jackson from the Big News helps with that because he's amazing, as you guys know. After that, we're going up to Kearney, Nebraska, and we're going to hit up Gilly's Bar, and our friends in Mad Dog in the 2020s hooked us up with that one.
They just played in Chicago with the Big News.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
And Short Story
They're both great.
Sorry. Keep going. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, you're fine. Sunday, we're still waiting on a word from Omaha. That's the one one date I'm still kind of stressed out about. But Monday, we're going to be in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, playing at this arcade bar, which I just like looked up South Dakota, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if they do concerts. And sure enough, they hooked us up.
Awesome.
Tuesday, we're in Minneapolis, and there's a Minneapolis ska community page that I just emailed the dude and was like, hey, we'd like to play. And he's like, gotcha, you're down. And then we're playing Des Moines, Iowa, which our trumpet player Maddie hooked us up because she's been there and she knows some of the new people there. So we got in there. Iowa City, just cold calls, which I didn't think were going to work. But Iowa City, we're playing at Gabe's, and that worked out phenomenally. And then hooked up with Courtesy of Tim from Madison and the Chicago Ska page for our Chicago night. So it was it just had a fun way of working out.
Very neat. So as far as like reaching out and cold calling and finding that, when you did that, how did you then, like when you reached out to that venue, did you ask them to help book local acts, or did you then take it upon yourself to go find local acts? How did those shows come to be?
Well, it was kind of like half and half. Some of them expected us to find local acts. Others said, we'll find the local acts for you. So whenever they asked us to find local acts, the next step was just looking in the area, finding bands, talking to people that knew people, and getting those shows booked. So, yeah.
So how did you pick your route? Because it sounds like you leave, you go up, you go back up, you go down, and then you're going up again, east, and then down again.
Coming through Wisconsin twice, basically.
Yeah. How did you pick your route?
Honestly, I just kind of said, okay, here's the Midwest, what would be cool? And this route that we're going on is kind of like route version 3. Because I had originally, it was much more of an overarch, like an arc instead of going up and down. But some cities just were dead ends. The venues weren't getting back to us, the bands weren't getting back to us. It was just not working out at all. So when push came to shove, I was like, okay, we can either not play or I can alter our route a little bit. So originally we weren't going to play in Iowa twice. We were just going to play Iowa City, but then some stuff happened. So this route just kind of evolved, but most of the route stayed relatively intact.
When you play in Oklahoma, are you playing with the big news?
Unfortunately not. Me and John have been texting back and forth because we haven't played together on a bill in a while. They're playing a Comic-Con show, so unfortunately not, which is a bummer. But
so my next question was going to be, these bands that you're going to be playing shows with, have you heard of any of them before, or is this going to be completely first new, you're walking into this cold sort of thing?
A lot of them are cold. Yeah, except there's a lot of them are cold because all the bands that already knew in the area, they were already booked or they couldn't play or they had members out of town. But yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them are bands we hadn't played with before or contact with, so it just kind of worked out that way.
Who are you playing with in Minnesota, out of curiosity?
In Minnesota, let me pull up my spreadsheet. I don't have that off the top of my head.
I will pause for a moment of research. I'm curious because we recently have started to get an influx from Minnesota. And years and years ago, Scapleton was a giant thing. Did you ever hear about that music festival?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my God, the excitement.
I heard a lot about it.
So, one of the main, I would say, an influential Minnesotian ska bands was Umbrella Bed, and that, when I think Minnesota ska, that's the band I think of. But recently, what is it? Space Monkey something or other has reached out to us, and
yeah, Space Monkey Mafia. Those guys are sick. We're playing with them at the Wisco.
Yeah, they're they reached out to us and were like, we'd love on your show. And I listened to them and I was like, these guys are super fucking cool. So hey, friends out there, Josh who's watching, and you, Mr. Flip band leader, talk to those guys and have them get on our show. So.
Oh, most certainly, definitely can do.
Who did you look it up? Do you know who you're playing with in Minnesota?
Yes, I have it. We're playing with a DJ Aaron Porter, Greenbeard, and the Rocksteady Breakfast.
I have never heard of any of them.
Yeah.
Because another one recently out of Minneapolis, oh God, I'm going to murder it. It's in my email. Something Ricochet. Rocket Ricochet or something. They are a ska band too who are trying to I don't know, they had a manager contact me. And I was like, I've never heard of any of these Minnesotan ska bands. So spread the good word, Flip. All right. Oh, my goodness. Josh keeps talking a lot. Sorry, Josh. I'll go back and read these. And Flip, he wants you to read them too. So.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll have to read the comments. Josh, we'll get back to you. So tell us, do you have your spreadsheet still up? Does it tell all the other gigs and bands?
It does.
Great. How about you go through those?
Yeah, for sure. So on Friday, as far as ska bands, the Wisco is going to be the big one with a lot of ska bands. A lot of other shows we had to play with just like straight punk bands.
What's a straight punk band?
Sorry, like just like punk, no modifier, just punk bands. But in Chicago, we're playing with World Class Extortionists, which are really cool. There's like ska-core, Jimmy Degenerate, and then Short Story Inc.
So Short Story Inc. is fucking amazing. Yeah. They're awesome guys. They're super fun. And Jimmy Degenerate is going to be coming on the show, September? Mm-hmm. So I haven't met him yet, but that will be fun for you.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited. The back half of this tour is like just stacked. Like I'm excited for the rest of it, but like the Chicago and Madison shows are going to be just tight. A+ winners.
Hey, so as you are out on your travels, just so that you know, our show is not just a ska show. Our platform is completely inclusive of every single music genre out there. So if you're in any other band, they are more than welcome, because I want it to be a place that anybody could be and play, because there isn't another platform out there for that. So
yeah, for sure.
So
I'll be certainly giving your name out as we're hitting the road.
Your synth rock band, feel free to have them come on. You mentioned that you and Victor are in another band. How many other of your band members are in other bands? And how easy is it to coordinate rehearsal and tours and things?
Woo! It is very difficult. So me, Victor, and Duddy all play in that synth rock band. And our trombone player, we share with the Holophonics.
Okay.
So, like, the reason he couldn't go on this tour is because the Holophonics are on tour right now.
Yep.
But even without just the bands, trying to get 7 people in one space for, like, 2 hours on, like, any given day in a week is real tough.
Yeah. Where do you guys rehearse? Do you have a rehearsal space, or do you guys share, like, do you go to the drummer's house, or do you rotate through the band members' homes? How does that work for you?
We are lucky that we have a house that I used to live in. Me, Victor, and Duddy all used to live in the same house. I recently just moved in with my fiance, but we still use that house to rehearse, which is wonderful.
That is convenient. So, when you talk about trying to get everybody together and you practice for 2 hours, which is an undertaking in and of itself, I would say, who would you say is the primary writer? Do you guys have one person who says, okay, this is my band and my direction, or are all of you contributing members?
So that's kind of a funny thing. When I first started the band, I was like, no one's going to want to be in a ska band. No one's going to want to do this. Like, it's going to be a revolving door of people. So when I first started, I wrote everything out, and I mean everything. I used like a music notation software and like had a score, because I'm a music teacher. Like during the school year, I teach music at an elementary school. So like I had all that training, but literally wrote out parts. And when I first started the band, it was literally like, here's your part. Let's take it from measure 36.
So do you have a baton and everything at rehearsal? I can just see it. Keeping time.
Yeah. But over the past 2 years, I've been able to start to like take steps back, and a few of the parts on the new EP, they wrote, and they had like opinions on it. It's like, oh, well, I don't like this part. Can we change it to this? And then one of the songs, our drummer Alexis wrote, and she performed. Like she had the song written and she said, "Here's my song. Can you make it work for the band?" And I said, "Yes." And then the last song in the EP we wrote together. So it's starting to more. I'm starting to let go of the control, which I'm fine with. Like that. When I first started, I was like, I'm just gonna be on my own. This is the Flip Show, and I've been very fortunate. I was like, oh no, these are creative people. I can let them have more creative input. And for the next record, that's the plan. Like we're currently planning a songwriting retreat where we all just like rent a cabin and go and just write for like a weekend. And I'm very excited for that.
Go ahead, beer guy.
So, moving along with this whole recording deal, how exactly do you guys record?
So we record, I feel this is like a commercial for the Holophonics. We record with a Holophonics record in his home studio. We travel up about an hour to Denton, Texas, and
shout out to Patrick.
We record there.
Very neat. So talk about your new, because it's dropping tomorrow, record that's coming out. How long did that take you to write, record, and then release?
Yeah. So this new record, this new EP, it's called This EP Has No Theme, because the In Search of Home, it was all about the idea of home and the different places that a home could be, and very centered around that. And shortly after we finished that record, I started like really cranking out and writing again. And I had a couple of like more life events happen that like kind of skewed my writing a little bit and informed it. And when it came time to like okay, we should start like working on a new EP, none of the songs really fit with each other, because one's about my grandfather who's having some trouble with early onset Alzheimer's. One's about the political climate in America right now, and one's is finally the love song I always promised my fiance. So like there wasn't really a through line.
There's a lot of emotion in this EP, man.
No kidding. It's
it's a lot. Like very emotional, but like no direction. And then we have the Margot that you played on Tuesday is like just my hype song, because every good rap album starts with like the first track where it's just like, this is who I am and here's how sick I am. And I was like, I have to have one of those. If I'm going to claim that we're a hip hop band and a ska punk band, I need to have one of those.
Have you found any other ska bands that are doing that?
Yes. And it's so upsetting because they're on all over the other parts of the globe. There's a band up in New York called Love Is a Fist.
Yep,
and they are
I know them.
So good. They are so good. And I'm like, if you ever come to Texas, please know you have a show with us. Like, we would be perfect on a bill together. And then the Popes of Chilitown are like incredible. And I would love to play a show with them, but they're also in Europe. So That's a little difficult.
How often are you guys playing in your own hometown, and what are shows like there?
We try not to play in our hometown a lot, just because we have such an amazing, we have this venue in Arlington, not in Dallas, not Fort Worth, in Arlington proper, called Division Brewing, and they have been nothing but just welcoming and loving with us. Like, we played there maybe 3 or 4 times in the past 2 years, and we always just pack the house. Because most of us in the bands went to school at UTA, and we still have roots really dug down deep in there. So whenever we say, hey, we got a flip show on Saturday, they come out in full force, and it's just so fun. Especially the past, we played one last Saturday for Duddy and Victor's birthday, and just people came out. It was a big party. It was just so fun, and it's really trippy now that we're playing shows, and I look out in the audience, and people that I don't know are singing the words back to me, and that is just the wildest thing. Crazy town banana pants. amazing.
Crazy Town Banana Pants. I might steal that. That's a good one. I like it. It's almost as good as Taco Sharks.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we got good food analogies here.
And vegetables.
So I've been asking more and more bands this because I've noticed that there is a theme for the people who are actually thriving and being successful, is they kind of partner with other bands and work collaboratively, where there is co-promotion and support. So are you guys working collaboratively with other bands actively with cross-promotion and stuff? And if so, have you noticed and would you agree that that is helping with your success? What?
That's a great question.
Right now, unfortunately, we're not working a lot collaboratively with other bands. We'd love to. Like, that's something that I'm definitely wanting to work on, especially I'm trying to get more, like I said earlier, we're very fortunate that the ska community and the punk community has accepted us. But now I want to get like more features from local MCs. There's a MC up in Denton that I've been talking about, like us getting together and like him throwing a verse on one of our new songs and doing stuff like that. I would love, like, at some point, like, to go on tour again, but it's like us and an MC, and like we have my set, and then like we are the backing band for the other MC, like stuff like that. That's definitely in my future that I'd like to try. But at this time, we haven't, other than just swapping shows with bands and things of that nature.
So how does that eventually, this has become a recent theme as of the last couple weeks, where a lot of bands have said, we want MCs to throw down. At what point then does it become dub?
It is.
That's a very good question.
Right? I asked the best here on the Jess the Ska Kid show, because I've noticed that not just ska bands, but punk bands and hardcore bands and rock bands are wanting MCs to come and do music with them. There's been a lot of collaboration here in town.
Which nobody's saying is a bad thing, by the way.
No, it's
Let's
not.
just go ahead and make that a no.
But like, I'm just all of a sudden like, that's the new trend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is dub coming back here stronger?
They'll never call it dub again. They
Why?
won't. Because it had that bad...
But in Jamaica, it is dub. And it is like still something that is very prominent.
That turned into dance hall, though.
Do you have anything to contribute to the conversation now? Sorry, Flip.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. No, I was thinking, like...
There's not a spreadsheet
I
for
don't
this.
think it would become dub, because I think a lot of the instrumentation is still so rooted in its original genre that it becomes punk with a rapper, or ska with a rapper or MC. I think because it's just very much, because that's something I've like struggled to like describe the band with. I've been like, we're like a punk band, but imagine like if there was an MC instead of a singer. And because as much as I love to be like considered a hip hop band, I know we're still very rooted in our punk and ska roots right now. So basically punk ska with an MC.
Are you more heavily, would you say punk? I mean, when we talk about cross genres now or descriptions of things, ska punk or punk ska, which one would you say is more of an influence?
And see, that's the question. Like
Inquiring minds want to know, Flip.
I've always loved the horn section. I've always loved that good old upbeat. But then, like, when you get into that double time and like the guitar is just distorted as all get out, and like there's like screaming and shouting, like it's great. And I think Flip is currently riding that line of like, are we are we more influenced by either? One of my big influences is Survey Says, who is now Keep Flying. Like those guys, like really made a mark on me when I first heard them, and then them with like We Are the Union and Kill Lincoln. Those bands that just ride that line. If I had to, like at this moment, I think we're definitely more ska influenced. But with this new record and the new songs that we're working on right now, I feel more like we're riding that line with Kill Lincoln and all those guys.
So, you know, as far as releasing this new album EP that you have coming out, and you already have one released, did you guys push it yourselves, or did you go through a distributor like CD Baby or something?
Yeah, we go through CD Baby. That's just been the tried and true that we've worked with.
Ooh, I'm raising my hand. Can I ask you a question?
Go.
Why? Can I ask?
Why CD Baby?
Yes. And why a distributor?
It's kind of just, that was it. I did all the CD for the synth rock band. That's who we went with. And it was just kind of the, like, I guess the easiest way to go about it.
Okay. Well, all right.
Soapbox.
I'm not going to soapbox. I am going to soapbox. Are you ready?
Just do it.
Okay, so I've been trying to educate every band that I've talked to, because there is a recurring theme that they're using a distributor. But a few months ago, we interviewed somebody who is quite successful in doing his own thing, and it did take a while. And I'm talking to more, you know, recording artists and, you know, studios and things like that. And, you know, when you go through a distributor, it's easy, but you're losing your rights to your music and the full potential to earn all of your royalties. And having talked to James White was really influential from the Trees of Life, and he, you know, kind of opened my mind to this different perspective, because lots of bands use a distributor. But if you were to release your own album and put it on SoundCloud, that is a platform that will then allow you to post on Spotify and iTunes without going through a distributor. You maintain full rights to your music, and you're allowed full royalties. So you would get all of the profit. Whereas when you go through a distributor, if you tell them, yeah, we don't want to go through you or take our stuff down, they'll still collect royalties on your stuff, and you've lost the rights to it. So I want to tell everybody about this, because I want to take the music industry back. I feel that lots of times that people get fucked in the music industry significantly, especially if they're trying to get big, but they're, you know, getting kind of bullied by the man. So just food for thought. I'll get off my soapbox now.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something to consider. I appreciate that.
I mean, I talked to, his name is John Griffin, and he records music, but he was in a band called Tutu and the Pirates. He's now in a bunch of other bands, but Tutu and the Pirates was one of the, I would say, starting and historical punk bands of the 70s in Chicago. And we met these guys, they became our friends at a reunion show they did. And having become his friend now, he's been like, the main problem that I run into is bands want to quick record and then use a distributor. And he says that he won't do that because he wants bands to push their own stuff, because you should want to push your band.
It's soulless.
So, I want you to know so that you don't lose any more money, and so that you know as well that you guys can do this all on your own. And doing things like this interview will be on SoundCloud, so you already are on that platform after this show is recorded. So,
yeah.
Food for thought, my friend, as we move forward in our careers, right? Which will lead,
definitely.
That will lead to my next question. Did you have a question?
I don't want to steal yours, though.
All right, what is your goal for your band? Where do you want to go with Flip and the combined effort? You can ask next.
That's okay.
Well, like, it's not a loaded question. It's a simple answer. I would love, in like 3-4 years, like, treating this as or not treating it, but having this be my full-time job as opposed to just treating it as my full-time job, that would be amazing. I would absolutely love to just be on the road for a living and playing and doing all that stuff. I would also would be cool with like still teaching and like playing shows in the summer, like being a touring band in the summer. I know a couple of metal bands that do that. Like they all like are teachers and then they spend their entire summer on the road performing. And I'm happy with either of those. Part of this tour is kind of like an experiment. Like, is this all that it's cracked up to be? Is this all that I've dreamt it to be? So I'm excited to go on tour. It's gonna be fun and play shows, but it's also kind of like let's test these waters. Let's see how I like this lifestyle.
So you're gonna hit the road tomorrow, and you have a new EP dropping. Will you have merch available on the tour? Sorry, Mike.
Yes, we'll have the physical CDs of the new one and our debut. We'll also have shirts and stickers and buttons and stuff like that.
Very neat. Did you have another question? Yes, you do. Do you know what it's going to be?
Yeah. Hey, so where can we find you? What's the easiest way to access your band? Where do we find you at?
Of course, we have a website that leads to all of our social media, and that's Flip and the letters CE, so Flip and the CE .band. That will take you, it shows our shows, our Instagram feed, lead us everywhere. You can also just go to flipandthece.bandcamp.com. Our music's on there too. And every social media handle is at Flip and the CE.
Flip and the CE. FLIPANDTHECE. Ta-da.
That's it.
Yeah. Are you guys on YouTube?
Yeah, we're on YouTube as well. We can't get a custom URL until we hit like a certain amount of subscribers.
Yep, we know. We're in the same boat.
Yeah,
help us, help
we
you.
We are on YouTube as well.
What would you say has been the best platform to be on?
I'm going to have to say Instagram has been very good to us. Extremely good. Like, that's where we get the most engagement, where we have the most followers. And what I try to do for every show is I try to do a promo rap. So I make a little rap instrumental, and then I rap about that specific show.
Are you going to do that here?
I need to hear this.
Are you going to do that here?
I can. That's like on my agenda. While we're in the band, I'm going to be recording all the promo raps for the whole tour.
Yeah, no, so you will, right? Yeah.
I'll do a special Jess the Ska Kid, special one for y'all.
We would appreciate it.
Yay! Speaking of social media platforms, how the hell did you even find me, by the way?
You were going to say creepy?
Crazy.
Through the big news. I'm friends with John on Facebook, and he said, "Hey, we're doing an interview tonight," and that's how I saw y'all and watched that first interview.
Very cool.
They were a very good interview.
Yeah, I love those guys. They're, you know...
As well as this one was very well done as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed talking and getting to meet these people all over, the U.S. who are doing the same sort of thing. I want to be able to connect you all. Do you think, if this one goes well, what do you think your next tour undertaking would be?
It's funny. I've already planned it. I've been telling everyone, if this goes well, what I want to do is next summer we'll do a West Coast run. So kind of start the same way, but head all the way west. And I'm originally from El Paso, Texas, which is the little tip of Texas to the west. And I want to go all the way around and then finish at a home show. Because when I told my mom, we're going on tour, she's like, are you coming to El Paso? And I was like, no.
Love you, Mom.
Yeah, I love you, Mom. So if this goes well, that's my plan for next summer, is a West Coast run ending in El Paso and do a nice hometown reunion.
Have you played any festivals? Did you guys play Ska by Ska West?
We did play Ska by Ska West. We also played the Deep Ellum Arts Festival. But yeah, that's those two. We played 2 years? Yeah, 2 years at Ska by Ska West.
Very neat. any, if you could play any festival, what festival would you want to play?
Oh my gosh, I was so fortunate to go to the Back to the Beach Festival back in May with like
God
full
damn
picture
it.
really. It was bonkers. Like, it was so cool, and I was like, man, how sick would that be to be on this stage? Because like I got to see one of my heroes, Big Jim the Kid Stable. Like, they killed it as they always do.
Have you been on stage with any bigger bands? Who's the biggest?
We got to open for the Toasters last September, which was really cool. After the show, I went up to Bucket and I was like, hey, like, I just want to say you guys are amazing as always. He's like, oh, you wrote that Tempe, Arizona song, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, you keep writing songs like that, you might have a future in this. And I died.
Wow.
So my ghost talking to.
That's awesome. That's a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, you should. When I first met Bucket, it was like my first ska show ever. Like, I hadn't ever gone to anything, and I went to the beat. Dude, for real, I couldn't talk, and I was like, can I hug you? I don't know. Because when my next question was going to be, how did you get into ska? Like, my first influence and like the first CD I ever got, my mom gave me for Valentine's Day 2 CDs. She gave me Hard Band for Dead by the Toasters and Willis by the Pie Tasters. And I fucking listened to those things over and over and over and over and again. And I tried to preserve the smell of Crossroads, which was the CD place they came from because it smelled amazing. But like those were my steps into like possessing ska music and becoming the ska kid we know today. And yours? Go on with your history.
Oh man, I love this story. Okay, so
Hi, Steve.
the first ever ska song I heard was "Party at Ground Zero" by Fishbone.
Oh.
And I was super into Halo when I was a kid, and before like YouTube, they had this website where you could go and download Halo trick videos. Like, people film themselves playing Halo, doing all these cool tricks like flipping cards, and one of the soundtracks was Party at Ground Zero. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is amazing! And like, I remember I talked to my uncle, who's a huge techie. He was all about LimeWire. I was like, Junior, can you please get me this song? I don't know who it's by. And he found it. I was like, this is great. It's too bad there's not music like this anywhere else in the world. And then I didn't look any further. And then Weird Al Yankovic put out Running with Scissors, and on there he has a song called Your Horoscope for Today, mm-hmm. which features the horn players from Real Big Fish. And I was like, oh, this is like that Fishbone song, man, this is so cool. And then once again, never looked into it further. Until I was on Newgrounds.com, the good old Flash animation site, and they made a collaborative cartoon music video to the Real Big Fish. A Real Big Fish tune from their record, We're Not Happy Till You're Not Happy. Oh, I can't remember the song now, but I saw that and I was like, these guys are amazing. And from that point on, I downloaded all of their songs, bought all their CDs physical. They were the first live band DVD that I ever bought. Like, I remember waiting every day after school, like, is today the UPS truck comes? Is today the day? And I watched that thing raw. Like, it was great. And then my first show, which the song Tempe, Arizona is about, is seeing Real Big Fish, and Streetlight Manifesto opened for them. And then I was like, I'm home. I did it. This is where I belong.
Who does your artwork for your stickers and your buttons? Are you do it yourselves, or do you go through, friends? Or tell us about how your merch is made. Yeah.
So the logo was made by a friend of a friend in El Paso named Mitsu Overstreet. And when I was talking to my buddy Adrian, I was like, I need someone to like make a logo. It's not going to be fancy. I just want like the name in a circle in some way. And he pointed me towards him, and he made the logo, and I just fell in love with it. He also did the artwork for the first record. He made all the artwork for that. And then for the EP, we have a friend named Roderick Pena, who's a photographer, and he's worked with the synth rock band a lot. And I told him, like, here's what I'm thinking for this new record. It's kind of homey feeling, kind of arts and crafts feeling. And he like threw the idea of like, why not Polaroids on a wood background, and let's have all the track listings on paper. And
that's cool.
So that's who I've been working with a lot.
Very neat. So another friend of ours who we've interviewed before, Terry from the Upscometrists, says, hey, check out the Upscometrists when you plan your tour out west.
Seriously.
They're from Idaho.
And please check them out.
They're really
awesome.
Cool.
Oh, hell yeah. My brother lives in Idaho, so I definitely want to hit up that part of
So it
town.
sounds like you need to do a family tour.
Yeah, that's
El
probably what's
Paso,
gonna happen.
Idaho. Hey, you can stay places, right? And get fed and still meet cool bands from all over the place. You'll have to play with Half Past Two then, too, if you go out west.
Also, we're going to need some samples of this other band you got going on. You've talked about it enough to where we need to hear it.
Yeah, that's the next band that gets to come on, right, Flip?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think Victor's watching right now, as he was a second ago. I'll definitely...
Well, regardless, you or Victor, somebody needs to send us some of that as a sample.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, done and done.
Did you have questions?
You might have covered it in the beginning, but I was elsewhere. The age that you picked up your first instrument, and what was it?
Oh gosh, I was 11 and I picked up the violin, and it just was the worst.
No.
Oh man! And then a year later, when I was 12, I picked up the drums, and that's what stuck. But oh gosh, the violin was terrible.
Why?
The instrument itself wasn't bad. It was my orchestra teacher was really mean. Like, if I had been any less determined, I probably wouldn't have continued with music. She was just was very talked down to us, very degrading, didn't make it fun at all. And I was fortunate that I was like, you know what, I want to give this music thing one more try. Did band, got told, you get to hit stuff now. I was like, cool, that sounds great. And fell in love with that.
Do you just play drums, or do you play anything else?
My primary instrument is drums, but I played a little bit of bass. When I graduated from college, I was like, yay, now I can finally learn how to play trombone. So I've been learning how to play trombone, a little guitar, and a lot of piano. Since I'm an elementary music teacher, a lot of my time, or a lot of the instruments I use are pianos in my classroom.
Right. So, when you finish this tour, will you be playing or doing a CD release in your own hometown?
That is the point of contention right now. Like I said earlier, we don't want to exhaust that resource of our wonderful venue, because if we played like every other weekend, it would lose its luster. We have a few shows coming up in Dallas. Just not sure when or if we're going to do a CD release show. That's still something we need to talk about when we get back, because the tour's kind of taking precedent over everything.
Right. Well, you guys have anything in closing? We've reached the top of the hour, my friend.
Oh, wow.
I
There it
know.
goes.
That went pretty quick, hey?
Yeah.
So, we've been talking to Flip from Flip and the Combined Effort. They will be coming on next Saturday afternoon for a Saturday matinee show. As they are leaving tomorrow to go on tour, you can catch them in lots of different states, but you can pay attention if you check out Flip and the CE on any social media platform. Their tour dates are listed, and they are releasing tomorrow a new EP. So, Flip, anything in closing for our viewers?
No, I think good. Yeah, like if you have anyone in those cities, like we'd love to play for them. And thank you, Jess and Nights Around Table, for having us on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Flip, and we will see you next week, my friend.
We'll catch you on the flip side.
Sounds great.
Okay?
Thanks.